Hola chicos, here we are again. Now we're doing something totally new. It's called los tiempos perfectos, which is the present perfect tenses or the perfect tenses. So you're going, what the heck is that? Well, maybe you already know. So my question for you is, what is the difference between how are you and how have you been? The perfect tenses. Think. Well, how are you is like right now. You see somebody, oh, hi, how are you? But when you use how have you been, it has the feeling that that person has had you on their heart. And so when all of a sudden they run into you, maybe it's been years, and oh, they want, how have you been? See? So this tense is very interesting and one of my favorites because it has a really deep feeling to it. So let's review then. So here we have the present with the future to the right and the past to the left. And then remember, in the past tense, we have the preterite, which is represented by a point or a dot in time. It's done and it's over with. It's an action that's completed. It's like the ed in English. And then we have the imperfect, which is represented by a squiggly line because there is no definite beginning or end, and it's more descriptive of a past event. And it's kind of, in English, it's translated in many different ways. Used to, was, ing, danced even, and even the idea of would. So it's kind of confusing in English, but in Espanol, it's not. And then we have the present perfect, one of my favorites. It's still a past event, but this past event is an action that affects all the way to the present. So whenever you use the perfect tense, you use it ever so slightly because there's an idea that that action that you do is still with you to this present moment. Like in our example, how have you been? Well, when you use that, it's like letting the person know that you have been thinking about them. Not like all of a sudden, oh, how are you? You run into random Joe Blow versus an old friend that you were thinking about or wanting to see. So, just like English, you need two verbs to make the present perfect. I have eaten, you have eaten, she has eaten, we have eaten, y'all have eaten, they have eaten. Two verbs. You need the verb to have. It's an auxiliary verb. It doesn't mean like I have $5. It is an auxiliary verb. Do you remember that from your primary days? And then you have a participle. Eaten. You just don't go up to somebody and go, hey, I eaten. It doesn't work. You need another verb. You need the auxiliary verb have. Yes? And the same is true for Espanol. So you need two verbs. You need the verb haber, which is the auxiliary verb to have, this one, and you need a participle. So there it is, and there that is. Cool. So, what is your next question? How do you conjugate haber? Good question. And remember, it's not the verb tener, because that means to have, like I have $5. It's not the same. It's an auxiliary verb to have. So here you have it. Haber for the auxiliary verb is translated yo, he, tú has, él, usted, ha, nosotros hemos, vosotros habéis, y ellos o ellas han. Isn't that pretty? So your next question going to be, what is the participle in Espanol? If in English, eaten, fallen, slept, etc., is the participle. Well, what does a participle look like in Espanol? Very good question. Well, let me tell you. So you know we have AR, ER, and IR verbs, right? All verbs. So you take any AR verb and you add ado. Specifically how? You take the infinitive, You minus the AR plus the ado, and then you have hablado. That becomes the participle. With ER and IR, isn't this great? They're both the same. It doesn't matter. It's ido. You start with the verb, you take off the ER and you add ido, and you have comido. And that's for all regular participles. Now, of course, we always have irregulars. So there's 3 different types. Cho, which is hacer, hecho, decir, dicho. We have to, which is ver, visto, poner, puesto, abrir, abierto, escribir, escrito, volver, vuelto, morir, muerto. And then we have the ido with an accent, like leer, leído, creer, creído, oír, oído, traer, traído. Okay? There's not a lot of irregulars, but those are the irregular participles. Muy bien. Now, here's your practice. Take these English sentences and put them in the Español. Okay? Turn off the computer. Don't cheat. Try to figure it out. Okay? And come back when you're done. Okay, you are done. Let's see. I have seen the movie. Yo he visto la película. See, when you use that, you know that that movie is in your heart. Tú has ido a muchos lugares. You have been to many places. Oh, that idea is still with you. Nosotros nos hemos conocido. We have met. So, okay. Yes, it's a little bit of a feeling of there that they're in your heart. Okay, chicos? And in a nutshell, there we have the present perfect or el presente perfecto or pretérito perfecto. They're both the same things. Some people use them as present perfect. Some say pretérito perfecto. So whichever one you want to use, fine. Okay? Y chicos, eso es.